Good morning, YouTubers. I wanted to do a little rundown of my equipment and what I'm doing. First of all, I'd like to thank you to my first 8 subscribers. It's a start. My new channel, J More Pranks. That's capital J-A-Y, capital M-O-R-E, capital P-R-A-N-K-S. I've gotten quite interested in the pranks, and I'm going to try to put my own twist and my own flair, I guess, on it. The train horn pranks, the Bushman, and I've got, along with several other people that are in effort with me on this, we have probably 10 different prank elements we're going to be working on. But today down in Missouri, it's like 22 degrees and really not a good day to do anything else but maybe show you my equipment, how I use it, and what the mother of invention and the dedication to budget has created. So first of all, the camera I use is a RF60 Canon camera. And the main reason why I wound up with this camera, short of buying a $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 up actual cinema camera, which we are working toward, and we will continually improve. That's one thing I wanted to shoot for on all these videos, is the quality editing, which I'm just getting into all that. So bear with me and grow with me as we go. Again, thank you to my 8 subscribers, and I hope I can produce enough content. Any ideas or things you'd like to see, I'm not limited to anything, and the budget will definitely allow many, many more things to come. But first of all, on my RF60, the reason why I wound up with this camera in particular is this little function right there. That is a mic input, which the first 4 cameras that I had used did not have this particular function, which I found to be a very, very important element, mainly for the fact that all these cameras have an onboard microphone, but you get out in different conditions and elements in the wind and such and so forth, regardless of the fact of the onboard mic, no matter how good they are, they will pick up wind noise, car noise, many things that definitely compromise the quality of video, which that's our main goal here, is to get better and better as we go. Your comments, suggestions, and everything are greatly appreciated and desired, so we can bring to you everything we can and that you want to see. So back to this, the mic input. With the mic input function, that allows me to do 2 different things, 2 different functions for many different conditions and environments that I may be recording with on all the pranks to come. So what I do is I have a 3.5 into female, male to female twice splitter, which this will go into the mic input. And with that, you'll have to excuse me, I'm having to look at my phone and front view here all at the same time. The Canon camera did not have a cold shoe mount for any kind of accessory, light, or anything. So what I did is I took a piece of 3/4 inch PVC, there we go, and I actually took a round rat tail file and contoured it a little bit on the bottom so it would fit more positive to the upper case. And I used Gorilla Glue epoxy to attach it on there. And then of course I attached the cold shoe on top. And what this has done for me has allowed me to give a mounting place for my external boom mic for all forward recordings and capturing. Well, I'm not going to tighten that down, you get the idea. But it's very stable, very strong, as strong as any elevated mount on any other camera. Of course, by application, this was the definite mother of invention that led me to this, but it works great. It does get tight. I'm not going to tighten it up because you get the idea, but I can bring the input right over to my splitter. Okay, now with that in mind, if I'm out in the truck recording doing my train horn pranks with an extension with a 3.5 extension, I'm able to actually run that boom mic on top of my truck onto the ladder rack, to where I'm able to, of course, capture the yells and screams of everyone that is a victim to the train horn. Which I would like to say at this point here, my train horns brand are from Horn Blaster. Very nice people up there, very helpful. You call them for advice, help, or whatever, and you'll get a live person that will take the time to go through everything, and they're quite helpful. So within that said, I definitely am endorsing Horn Blasters. It's the horns I run. I've made some modifications in the manifold and the airline systems to meet my needs on the truck, because I run more than just 3 horns. But it's a great product. I'm very happy with the Horn Blaster product, and I've tried others, and I'm a definite sold customer for Horn Blaster. You can talk to any of the guys up there, and like I said, they're helpful and they'll work with you, and they have a very good program. So to move on, now I ran into another issue on the camera, and that is the battery. It comes with a pretty beefy battery. It's good for hour and a half before it actually starts dipping down to the lower percentages of power and reserve. Right there I have a piece of tape that's taped on another SD card for memory. I'm running a 128 in here now. And the 128 is good for, yeah, excuse me, I got a little bit of a cold today. The 128 gigabyte memory card that I've got on board on the Canon right now is good for, I'm running it in MP4 format. The battery as it is good for 8 hours and 17 minutes on the MP4 format at 17 megabytes per second and 30 frames per minute. Actually, I was running AVCHD, which gives you a lot more recording time on than the MP4 format, but YouTube uploads and about everything else you do likes the MP4 format. With the AVC HD, you have to have an editing program like Filmora, Shotcut, to name a few, and you actually have to convert the AVC HD back into an MP4 format. I haven't had enough coffee this morning. Back into an MP4 format, which between the AVC HD, that'll give you 60 frames as opposed to MP4 30 frames per. I actually have no problem running the MP4 and just doing my split edits and such. A lot easier, and it still is a good video quality reproduction. So that's the gist on that as far as the settings. Of course, you can do what you want to, whatever fits your needs, and software you might have and otherwise. Now, on the other behalf, I run a Boya lavalier microphone, which is a wireless. Works very well. I used it on my Bushman. I was able to put the lapel mic on the Bushman and the receiver onto the camera. I've got it to where the receiver, I'm having to really work around the tripod here. I'm able to put the receiver of the Boya mic, which has a line in on the receiver side. I'm actually able to Velcro that to the other microphone. And again, come out with my patch cord straight into the Y connector that the boom mic goes into, which that works out very well because I'm able to pick up my audio at the position behind the camera, and I'm able to also pick up the forward audio with the boom mic. So I have two audio locations that I'm able to capture the audio, which is another nice element, but it can only be done with the camera that has the mic input selection. Now, the Canon camera that I use is a 5-volt. Let me turn this around a little bit. Sorry about that. This is really not. I've got my cell phone taped to my tripod because I don't have a carrier mount for my phone yet, which that's coming. Oop. Like I said, as you get the raw footage. Okay, what I did, since the camera battery life on any of these little camcorders at best will be, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours if you have an extended battery that they like to sell you. I actually bought a power bank. Now this power bank is, it has two outs. It has a 2 amp and a 1 amp, which the 1 amp is what my particular Canon camera called for. 2 amp. Well, it has a 2 amp maximum, but I run that on a 1 amp. You got to be real careful not to over boost and overpower your camera. You'll blow it. You'll blow it to smoke. Trust me, I know. And I'm an electrician and electronics repairman and everything else, and I made a terrible mistake on one camera and wasn't watching what I was doing. So what I did, since this is a power bank, it takes a 18650 battery, which is a common Asian battery. This particular unit takes 8 of these batteries. You can recharge this unit with your cell phone patch cord, your Android mini USB patch cord. But I went a little further because sometimes I may not be at my tripod location where I can hook up to AC, which I have an external monitor that I also run on a newer filming rig. So what I did is I spent $9 and I bought a extra power pack, factory power pack with factory plug, which they're pretty much dedicated to that. You have to have that to fit that product, of course. But I bought another one of these and I cannibalized the power point that actually goes into my camera, which just left me with a extra power pack with a cut line, which that's fine. I can always repair it if my other one goes out. I'm not really worried about that. So on that note, what I did was use the red and black wire out of the USB, which the red and black is the power, your green and white is your data. And with the PowerPoint plug that I cut off the other power supply charger pack that I bought, you can see where I just crudely soldered it and taped it up. I'm not real concerned about cosmetics at a lot of points when, you know, function and utilitarian considerations come in. But anyway, there's the power end, and there's the camera end, which I spent $9 just to get this plug, which that was not a big deal at all to the benefits of what I got out of it. So what I can do now is I can carry this power bank with me, and I can plug it directly into my camera, and I have probably 10 hours of record time mobilely without being dedicated to a inverter in the truck or a 12 volt cigarette lighter cord supply, which that again is considerations if you're running 12 volt out of your vehicle to maintenance your batteries on your equipment. You again have to check your specifications on the website of that particular product to make sure that you're within the amperage output and the voltage, because these cameras are very, very, very sensitive. Take it from me, I know. There we go with my duct tape failed again. Hang on. Bear with me. Once I get to the other camera, this will not be an issue. All right. This is the receiver end of the Boya mic and the microphone. I put a air shield around it. It's got a little clip on for the lapel, and that's the body pack that actually goes on the victim or the remote site that you're capturing video. On the lenses, the Canon camera comes out with a 43 millimeter, 43 or 48, I don't remember. It's been a while since I had to go through all that research. I believe it's a 43 millimeter to the inside threads of the stock lens. The lens termination part of the body of the camera is 43 millimeter. So most of your add-on lenses, like your wide angle or your telescopic lens, are in fact 52 millimeter. So 52 millimeter, of course, won't fit on the 43 millimeter to retrofit it onto the camera. So what you have to have is what's called a step down ring, and that goes from 52 millimeter to 43 millimeter and allows you to go to your lens, and then you have the interior 43 millimeter that will actually go onto your camera. So that is a definite must. And the wide angle lens, of course they have fisheye and they have all kinds of other lenses with effects, but I wanted a little more wide angle view just because it's better, I thought. So that's kind of a little bit of my equipment and how I use it. Now I'll go to my other camera here, my Canon, and I'll take you out to the truck and show you the setup out there of how everything actually works. And we'll pick that up in part 2. Thank you very much.